What's going on, guys? Wei Koh from Revolution here at Watches and Wonder 2023, here with the talented and wonderful Eleonor Picciotto. How are you?
I'm very well, and you?
I'm fantastic because I'm at the Cartier booth, or we are at the Cartier booth. And I always like to say, if Rolex is the king of sports and Patek is the king of complications, then we have to say that Cartier is the irrefutable king of elegance.
Absolutely.
And when I think of elegance, I think it is because they are the masters of shapes. And we have three amazing shapes to discuss in this first part of our video. We're going to first talk about the Tank Normale, which was created in 1917 and has been brought back in amazing configuration, especially the one with the 7-link bracelet. We're going to talk about the Tank Américaine, which was designed in 1987, launched in 88 in the American market, and then in 89 to the rest of the world. And then we're going to talk about the Baignoire, which is, I know, is a watch that you love, and actually I love too. Incidentally, guys, I adore wearing these tiny watches on these straps, and I kind of feel that this is the next phase for guys, is to wear our normal watch on one side and then just a cool mini Cartier shaped watch on the other side.
Which just becomes a bracelet.
Yeah, about precisely, exactly. But let's start with the Tank Normale. So, my buddy Ara Montanari has one of the most extraordinary watch collections in the world focused on Cartiers, and in his watch boxes, he has some beautiful Tank Normales with platinum bracelets. And one of my favorite watches for this year is the 100-piece limited edition Tank Normale, which has been made in just 1 mm larger from the original, if I'm not mistaken, on this beautiful 7-link platinum bracelet, right? And it is a masterpiece. I'm going to give you the gold one as well. So both of these watches are made in just 100 pieces. And look at that. That's absolutely stunning. And you know what was interesting was when I asked, so I was on a Zoom call for Cartier with Cyrille Vigneron, and I was asking him, hey, do you think you could put that watch on your wrist? And he said, yeah, sure. So he put it on his wrist on this side. And then he said, you know what was interesting? Let me show you another way of wearing it. So he took it and put it on his wrist on the other side with a bunch of other accessories. And that's the beautiful, elegant thing about these Cartier watches, is they're just so elegant and they work in so many contexts, and they're just a wonderful expression of elegance.
They blended perfectly.
Phenomenal. This watch is also been given a satin finish throughout the entire watch, which I think also makes it really contemporary feeling. And then you just have this beautiful high polished bevel on the edge of the brocard as well. Of course, you've got the red cabochon to signify that it's a platinum watch, and the configuration of the dial is one with sword hands with a kind of monochrome finish. You know, it's a matching platinum toned dial with, of course, the traditional Roman numerals and the chemin de fer, but stunning watch. Stunning, subtle, but incredibly elegant. And tell us about the yellow gold one, Eleonor.
Well, I mean, what else can I add to the master of communication, what you just done about that piece? But quite frankly, the satin brush, the gold version of it, makes it even more subtle, just because when you see it, it just blends on old skin tones, and it's as, I want to say, elegant, but extremely modern at the same time.
Absolutely. You know, so that's these two watches are made in 100-piece limited editions. It's also going to be available on a strap. I'll give that back to you. Give that to you.
But you have a little more. You have about 150 pieces.
200 pieces each.
200 pieces
the strap.
each.
Right.
My bad.
And then
you still find the cabochon on the side, which is the crown signature for Cartier, and you have it on all models. Here you still find actually the satin brush of the gold.
Yeah.
On the case.
Yeah, which I think is a really remarkable watch as well.
And actually, you have this the blue sapphire and they have the ruby on that, which makes the difference between
platinum and gold.
Platinum and gold.
All right. So I just want to show you this on the strap as well. Sorry, the strap's a bit stiff, but get it out here. I mean, to me, that's just like a masterpiece of elegance, right? Like on the wrist, it's just so stunning, and it's wonderful to see that like the world has re-embraced like smaller size watches as well. Or I don't want to even say smaller size. I just want to say like the correct size for a shaped watch, right? Okay, so we're
perfectly balanced. We were in the mini, we were in the oversized, and now we're just to the fitting perfectly the wrist.
Exactly. So now we're going to go from there to the Tank Normale. As I was saying before, it was designed in 1987, which incidentally is a year I remember very vividly because I'm incredibly old. And it was launched for the American market in 1988. The American market at the time was booming. Cartier was really reaching its height of popularity in this market. And the Tank Normale is very interesting to me. As you guys know, I'm a big Tank Normale fan. I kind of think of the American as clearly inspired by the Tank Normale, but a little bit more wearable to a larger variety of people because the Tank Normale is so extreme. Now, also the other thing to understand is the Tank Normale is a watch that's actually quite hard to get. Would you agree? to the person off camera who is from Cartier is like, yeah, it's actually quite hard to get. It's been made in a limited edition. I know they make a few NSO versions of it as well, but the Tank Americaine is meant to be a little bit more of an accessible watch, even while retaining this incredible beauty of Cartier shapes. Now I want to show you this watch because this is an absolute killer, right? So
this year has been slimmer, longer.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what's amazing about this watch is you get so much of the emotional qualities of a Tank Normale. I'm very, very fortunate that I happen to own one. You've got this incredible shape to this watch as well. You've got the Cartier iconography, but what I think is remarkable about this watch is, it's a steel watch, a steel Tank Americaine. It has so much of the emotional value that I get from wearing my Tank Normale. On the wrist, it is just such a wonderful expression of Cartier's mastery of elegance. I mean, you can look how curved it is as well, right? But the amazing thing is this is a steel watch with a mechanical movement that costs 5,600, like 5,600 Swiss francs is an amazing value for something that's beautiful. And I think Cartier is now looking to take the sort of magic of its design and spread it to a larger variety of people and maybe to a newer generation as well, right? So it's incredible. Eleonor, walk us through the two other sizes of the Tank Normale, please.
Actually, to make it a little more even, I'm not going to say feminine, but more jewelry-esque, you have not only a full-on integrated rose gold bracelet, but you have the bezel set with diamonds, and you have it in two different sizes. And the new bracelet that just came out, I guess this year, is a new version of how can you have with 3 links something super feminine, so also super recognizable, because we're used to see the integrated bracelet from the Panther, but here it's another signature that Cartier has pulled out quite, again, elegantly to our pleasure, I want to say.
You know, I've always
you'd wear the full diamond.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that actually, because I've always wanted like a diamond bracelet, right? But I think it'd be even cooler if I had like a diamond bracelet that was actually a Tank Normale. So like, I actually would completely rock this. Unfortunately, the bracelet's not large enough for me to put on, but I would totally wear this. Okay, so
each link, I'm sorry, but each link is actually individually paved with 2 lines of diamonds. And when you look at it, it's as if the metal completely disappears. And when you have it on your wrist, it's like you have basically 3 lines of diamonds just shining off your wrist.
That's awesome. How'd you get it on? Like, I was trying to get it on.
I have a tinier wrist than you do.
We have the same size wrist. I think it's just like, no, I don't want to get like, well, okay, let me try.
You have a more chubby hand, but we have the same wrist.
Dude, okay, check that out. That's awesome, right? Like, now I'm not sure if I can actually get that off later, but like, I think I would just like rock that all day long. I think that's just so cool. Okay, so let's go from there to the Baignoire, Eleonor, which I know is one of your favorite watches.
Yeah, the Baignoire has been in recent time quite a classic yet full-on women's from one generation to another, where your grandmother could pull it off, your mother can pull it off, and you can pull it off from 18 years old onwards, even if you're like smaller.
My girlfriend wears a Baignoire.
Yeah, I mean,
baby wears a Baignoire.
Multi-generational, but here what I found quite extraordinary, and especially when we've seen it in the evolution of Cartier jewelry, is that it's more rock. And when I say rock, is when you look at the diamond setting around the Baignoire, it's called a triangular diamond setting. So if you look at it, you have obviously a brilliant cut diamond, which is a round diamond that has been set one next to one another, but you have this triangular golden sort of like encrusting where you actually don't see anything because it's full flat. So it adds this beautiful, I want to say aesthetical yet jewelry value to it that just makes it even, I think, cooler. That version is a bracelet where you can see the tiny version of the Baignoire, and here, if you see it closely, you can look at like the random blue sapphire and diamond setting where you have the culasse, which is the pointy part of the stone, reversed, so it's called an inverted setting, that brings the pop and rock side of the new Baignoire.
I noticed when they brought the tray out, you really like those configurations.
My favorite thing ever is the Baignoire bangle, which means that here you have a secretly hidden clasp that enables basically the watch to open and just slide on your wrist as if it was a regular bracelet, but it happens to be a watch. We have it in different colors. We have it in yellow gold, you have it in rose gold, and I want to say my favorite version is the diamond set, where you can see at the bottom you have this dégradé of diamond setting that just falls all the way down your wrist. So which one would you choose?
I was just thinking about that. Like, I kind of like. I wonder if I could actually wear one of these. Like, I think it's really
You
cool.
can rock it. It's again a tiny watch that you can wear as a bracelet, and you can have it side by side, like it just another jewelry thing. And as you mentioned earlier,
That's actually really cool. I would totally wear
you
that.
wear it next to many other jewelry pieces from the Cartier collection, and it would fit just perfectly like a stacking wrist of golden beauties on your wrist.
Well, guys, that's part one of our video here at Watches Wonder 2023 with Cartier. So you've got three amazing iconic shapes here. You've got the Tank Normale, you've got the Tank Américaine, and you have the Baignoire. So stay tuned, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some other shapes. Thank you very much for joining us. And Eleanor, thank you.